Today we are shooting in cinematic mode, bringing the subject into sharp focus while the background fades away. I was talking to a brother this week who has been doing 1 week streaks. I know I get pretty grandiose out here talking about my multiple month-long streaks coming up to 1 year. But I realize for most of you guys, you're still circling around those 1 to 2 week streaks. Many of you, it's just a few days. This brother was telling me that he is doing these 1 week streaks and he's been pairing it with microdosing, psilocybin. And for him, this is a big accomplishment. And he's starting to penetrate into the deeper levels of his psyche that he's been glossing over for years. He said to me, when I get into these 1 week streaks towards the end, and I'm doing my microdose, it's like reality starts to go 4K. My vision, my perception, and I'm able to interface with reality in a much deeper way. When he said that to me, I said to myself, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a level of penetration which you start to reach. There's a critical threshold which you start to hit as you go longer and longer. For many of you, that's going to be a week. For those of you who've been practicing longer and have been doing more of the work, more of the soul level work, more of the emotional work, the purging, the letting go, those guys will be in their month-long streaks, their multiple month-long streaks. And what you'll be finding is that reality starts to get crisper, sharper, higher resolution. The feedback loop between you having a thought and then you seeing that thought manifesting in your world, it gets shorter and shorter. It gets tighter and tighter. Until you reach this point where you find yourself thinking about how you would like someone to act with very little concentration. It can be even a passing thought. You just have this whimsical little thought. I would love my wife to do this. I would love my friend, or I would love this woman to say this to me. And then that feedback, that response, that lag time gets shorter and shorter. This is the trippy thing. This is what I've seen scare guys back into relapses. And it's this whole theme of power I've been talking about. Semen retention unlocks that GOAT energy. When we're talking about GOAT, we're not just talking about an acronym for greatest of all time. We're talking about the goat as an archetype. What is the goat a symbol of? The devil. What is the devil? The devil is the lower nature. The lower nature, the sexual energy, the root chakra, is the part of you which contains all the power. You've got to understand this. This is where your nuclear reactor, this is where your generator lives, in your sexual energy, in your balls. So when we're talking about this goat energy, we're talking about the horned one, the devil energy. In the tarot, the devil is an actual archetype. It's a card. And we've been taught to look upon the devil as the evil one, as the source of darkness, as something we should avoid at all costs. And this is why it's so scary for you to allow yourself to be powerful, because you think you have an unconscious association that it means selling your soul. That's not what it means. What it means to allow yourself to be powerful is to allow this magnitude, this force multiplicative energy, this volcanic energy which is inside of you, in your sexual center, in your root chakra, is to allow this energy to come up, is to allow yourself to build it up. And as it builds up, it is going to bring all of your shadows to the surface, including your fear of power. And you're going to have to confront this. Can I allow myself to be powerful? Can I trust myself with power? This is why Christ was tested. This is why, if you look at the Bible, you see story after story after story of men and women being put through trials. It's called the refiner's fire, the threshing floor. You have to be put through trial after trial in order to receive this power, in order to be able to wield it. We look at the story of Aragorn, Lord of the Rings, great film, all about this theme of power. And in the beginning, we see that the ring was created by the Dark Lord. Again, the devil imagery. Created by the most powerful being. This is the shadow side of God. And the devil uses the ring to exercise power and control over others in the first stages. As the story unfolds, these rings created by the Dark Lord, one by one, corrupt all of the kings of the elves, the kings of the men, the dwarf kings, all the different races, representing all the different archetypes of men. Each of them were corrupted. But as the story unfolds, we see Aragorn rise up. Now Aragorn is carrying the wound of his forefather who was corrupted by the power. Isildur took the ring from Sauron, but it devoured him. The power devoured him. He couldn't handle it. And so Aragorn, living under the shadow in the shame of his forefather Isildur, who couldn't handle the power, condemns himself to a life of a wanderer. He keeps himself small. He keeps himself living in the shadows. This is what you've been doing. You've got to realize that you're carrying an archetypal wound. You're carrying a generational wound. We didn't arrive here as men en masse, fapping over pixels by accident. We arrived here after generation of being told that men have ruined the world. Men are toxic. Men have deeply wounded women. Men have committed the worst crimes the world has ever seen. Men are responsible for all the problems in the world. That's how we got here. Generation after generation of poisoning, psychic poisoning. And so we're carrying this curse, so to speak, a generational curse, where we actually believe that it's wrong for us to be powerful. On a subconscious level, we are keeping ourselves small. Because we are afraid of what it means to step into power. Just like Aragorn was afraid of what it meant to step up and take his rightful throne. He was scared to wield the sword of Isildur, which was shattered, just like the line of kings was shattered. It's all symbolism. But we're entering a time now where it is critical. It can go one of two ways. You can keep playing small. Keep fearing this power. Keep fearing this goat energy. Or you can recognize the sign of the times that we're living in. We're entering hard times. You can smell it in the air. The last major psyop was 5 years ago. Things have been pretty quiet since then, but the storm has been brewing. Like Gandalf with Pippin on the eve of war, sitting there in Minas Tirith, overlooking the plain of Gondor, seeing the glow emanating from Mordor, but everything's quiet. And Pippin says, "It's so quiet." Gandalf says, it's the deep inhale before the storm, before the hammer falls. That's where we are right now. It's time. It's time for you to let go of this fear. It's time for you to go through the forging process that comes with receiving power. It's time for you to face the uncomfortable truths. It's time for you to feel the uncomfortable emotions. It's time for you to accept who you are. You're not a boy anymore. You're on the precipice of manhood. Not the kind of manhood that's conferred by age. We have 40-year-old men living with their mothers who act like boys. It's time for you to take the mantle of masculinity, to be a provider, a protector, a leader. It's time for you to allow your backbone to develop, to stand up straight, to look people in the eyes. It's time for you to be a force to be reckoned with. It's time for you to be someone who other people feel safe around, not nervous around. It's time for you to be a rock. It's time for you to be a king. You know this only happens through retention. Only the man who has his seed within him can embody this king energy. This cannot be faked. This cannot be emulated. This cannot be copied by modeling someone else who's got it. You've either got it or you don't. And the only way to get it is to retain the life force, is to build it up. Some people have an abundance of this life force due to the harmonious living of their forefathers, their ancestors. My forefathers on my father's side are Samoan. Samoan people are known for their stature, for their size. Huge, built like bodybuilders. Fierce warriors. Why is that? Because they cultivated the seed. They did not recklessly spend their life force. They lived in harmony with the Tao. And so they grew bigger. Their testosterone was raised by the way they lived. And so I inherited a portion of that wealth. This is true wealth. Some people have inherited a natural portion of wealth, of life force. And so even if they release, they still have that surplus life force. The Chinese call it Jing. But you can reclaim this by your own actions, no matter what you come from, no matter what your lineage, no matter who your ancestors, no matter how the generations before you lived. You are the reclaimer. You are the one here to repair the line that was broken, to rebuild, to reforge the sword, the shards of Narsil. You are here to heal your generational line and all of the sons who come forth out of your loins, who come after you. This is a critical point in history. You're no longer doing this for yourself. You have to do this for Middle Earth. You have to do this for the world. You have to do this for God. That's the only way that you can face this power and stand in integrity. Not because you want to use this power to fulfill your selfish ends. There's only so many cars, there's only so much money, there's only so many women until it's no longer satisfying to you. Your cause has to be bigger. Your cause has to be bigger than having a glow, than being charismatic, than a few extra zeros in the bank. That's the only way you can handle this goat energy with full integrity. It's the only way you can wield it. So brothers, it's time to kill off all of the old parts of you that you've been carrying around, all of the old habits, all of the old response mechanisms, all of your default modes of comforting yourself when shit gets tough, because it will get tough. It will get way tougher. But it's a new day. I'm calling on all the men to stand up now, to rise up, to fully embody this energy. It's our time. It's our time to shift the social current. It's our time to lead women again. Brothers, if you are resonating deeply with this, because I know this isn't your ordinary message, jump in the community, the Sons of God. We're almost 200 members strong. There's been a lot of fluctuations in the previous months because I've been going through my own purging. I've been going deep on this shit. This is a spiritual journey. You are going to go down through hell before you rise up. It's all part of the process. But what I can say to you is the most powerful thing that you can do to keep you locked in on this journey is to have connections with other men walking the path. I couldn't have got this far by myself. I couldn't have got this far if it was just me with my own thoughts. I've had a community around me which I've built, which has allowed me to keep going, because I'm not just doing it for myself anymore. I know that every one of those men look to me, just like I look to them, for strength. You need to have other men in your life. If it's not through this community, find another one, make your own. But if you don't have that, jump in the Sons of God, the link is below. If you want to work with me one-on-one, if you're at a point where you're just ready to transcend to the next level, you can apply through the link below to work with me one-on-one. I'm not the kind of guy anymore who wants to do things by half measures. This is only for the men who have been walking the path for some time, not for the ones brand new to SR. This is for the men who've been walking the path for some time, who are ready to raise this power up exponentially, multiplication, not by increments, but logarithmically, multiplication. For those of you who have already got your basics covered in your life, maybe you've got your own business, maybe you're doing well in your career, but you're ready to step up to king level, apply to work with me. Let's do this. So brothers, wherever you are, keep walking the path. Much love.